Good evening. Here we are once again at New Beginnings Church. And man, to talk about the time flying. It seemed like it was just yesterday I was here. Same desk, speaking. It is amazing that the things that are going on today, and I know and you know, God is in control. But you see things happening and people are not, well, it's just, I guess, my point of view, they're not aware of what is going on. The enemy is just working overtime to abstract, demolish, tear down anything of scripture-minded people in God's way. I didn't think that in my lifetime I would see a president speaking so ill and detrimental to American citizens. That is amazing to me that he would get up in a speech and state that basically, if I voted for Donald Trump, I am a, well, I can't think of the word to use. But it's the whole thing that, this is my personal thing, everything he said in that speech, he is doing. What he accuses the mega Republicans, he actually is doing. And to call, anybody that does not agree with his way or his ideology are bad people. And it is, to me, that is not in any way, shape, or form a God-fearing man speaking. And you look at things that are happening even in the Black Lives Matter move. They profess to be Marxists. And it's like nobody really hears that. And when we, the people that voted for Donald Trump, are called fascists, that stunned me. Like, he took basically 72 million Americans and called them fascists. And I look at that and I say, what is going on? Apparently, the man giving that speech does not believe and and profess God-fearing ways. It doesn't matter to me how you vote, what you think. I am not going to call you a fascist because you do not think the way I do. And for people to blatantly say, yes, I was trained and I believe in Marxism, what in the world can you do? You could state that it's wrong. And I look at this socialistic move from our government that I can't understand how God gave us United States of America. He blessed United States of America. And I do not blame anyone trying to come to United States of America. We are founded under God-fearing principles. And you look at the forefathers who wrote the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. They were all Bible-reading, God-fearing men. And God was giving them his ideas on how we should live. And in the Constitution, there is no, if you're a Democrat, you do this. If you're a Republican, you do that. If you're independent, you do this certain thing. It's everyone that lives in the United States to abide by. So it's not one party against another. It's all united as one. In God's thinking, these men wrote it. And I look at that and I say, how can a president speak so, to me, nasty on 72 million American citizens that voted for Donald Trump? So you look at, there is no socialistic country that is prospered like United States of America. None. You take Venezuela, Cuba, you could go down the list of socialistic countries. People aren't flooding to get there. They're leaving there to come to United States of America. Reason? Freedom. Freedom of expression, freedom of faith, freedom of opinion. And here it comes along, they want to push a socialistic agenda on me and on you, something they believe in that we don't. And I look at that and I say, there is no socialistic country that has thrived and prospered and helping other countries like the United States of America. And because the United States was basically a Christian fundamental state, United States of America. That's what our believers founded, and how it was just prospered. And no other country has helped other countries as United States of America. Now, it's amazing, and I said it before, I do not fault anyone trying to come to the United States of America. And the big reason why, it is a God-fearing nation, founded under God's principles. So I look at that and I can understand totally, but there are things that United States of America, you have to live under law and order to succeed. When there is no law and order, everywhere you look in Scripture, there is man's way and there is God's way. And everywhere in Scripture where man went his way, it created a stumbling block. And when they turned to God and his way, they prospered. And they were blessed for doing things God's way. And today, it goes over and over again in my mind, where it says, in the last days, they will believe a lie as opposed to the truth. And I look around and I listen to a lot of people, and that is exactly what's happening today. People will sit there with a straight face and tell you a blatant lie. Over and over again. And when one lies, I will give the Democratic Party credit. When one of them tell a lie, you will hear it over and over and over again from different Democrats, the same lie they were trying to push on you over and over again. And they believe if they could tell that lie enough times, you will agree with it. And that baffles me. I do not like to be lied to. And I think at one time or another, everybody has been lied to. And I don't understand how, when I was lied to, I know how I felt. It didn't make me happy. And I felt bad for the person that was lying to me. And I have a perfect example. I know a youngster that he was a prevaricator. He would lie. And he thinks he's getting away with different things about lying. And his parents, his dad told him, You cannot lie your way to heaven. Can't do it. And he was caught many times lying. And then oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was lying. Well, here it comes. He gets a little older. And he's dating this young lady. And they're not living their life according to Scripture. Let me put it that way. So they're having a physical relationship. And she comes out and tells him that she's pregnant. And that sort of woke him up like, holy moly, you're pregnant. Like, it's almost comical to me. Well, how did that happen? Well, obviously, you know. So here he's going on, and now he's pretty serious. He's going to have to marry this young lady. That's what his parents told him. Well, you made your bed. There it is. And finally, he found out that she was lying to him. She was not pregnant. And he dropped that young lady like it was a 2,000-pound weight in his hand. Whoop! I do not want anything to do with you because you lied to me. Well, now it was the reverse. All the times that he lied to somebody, he found out he did not appreciate that young lady lying to him. So it turns out that it says in the Scripture, your lie will catch you. No matter what you do, how far you go, you could sit there and study how many times you lied. Oh, I lied to Tom this and I did this. It's going to catch you. And people will see what kind of person you are. And you almost have to be a genius to remember the lies that you told, because you're going to change the story. Believe me, you will not remember all the lies, and they'll come back to haunt you. And that's what Scripture said, your lies will catch you. In certain ways, it tells you in Scripture multitude of time. And I know as growing up as a young person, I couldn't understand the theory on my parents telling me the truth will never hurt you. So there is probably where I got telling the truth is sometimes difficult to do, but it is a blessing and it will never hurt you. But when you lie, it will come in the back door and catch you. And who you lie to is not going to be happy. So I look at the politicians. There's an old saying, I've heard it for 30 or 40 years, there's not an honest politician. Now, somewhere, and I'm not saying they're all honest, because they're not, but they all of them can't be dishonest and lie to you. God is putting God-fearing men in the political field. So you have to be very aware and listen and prayerful-minded thinking to listen to some of them in their background. How do they believe? What do they believe? Where they're coming from. So you can almost pick the politicians that are telling you the truth, as opposed to the ones that are lying, blatant lies to you. So it's very important to watch. If you have that old saying for 30 or 40 years out, there's not an honest politician. There are honest politicians, but they're few and far between. Where that saying started, you can understand when they started lying, they thought that they were gaining your respect. And some of them today, I know for a fact today, they do not care at all when they lie, and you know it. They care less. All they want is whatever that lie is, it is to give them something, more power, more dominance, more say so in how you live. So it's a backwards way. And all through the scriptures that I have ever read, lying never worked. God has a way to bring the cream to the top. Like in the old days, when you got a quart of milk from the milkman who delivered the milk, the cream was always on the top of the bottle. And there is a lot of politicians today that said, we are not lost. Do not give up, because there is going to be a time of reckoning for these lies that certain politicians have told us. In their way of ungodly ways of running the administration today that we have is not a God-fearing administration that looks out for the better of you, how you live, what you do, your freedom. It is just, I mean, you can't help but see the recklessness of this politicians today. What they want is they want a dictatorship. so they could tell you what to do, and you can't say if and or buts about it. It's their way or no way. So I feel that if you really listen to the politicians and what they say, what they do, how they live their life, you will see with a God-fearing, prayerful minded how to vote and who to vote for. There is a big vote in November coming up that if you want to change the way our nation is today, you have to vote. And you have to be God-fearing, God-minded people, and that is who you want to be put in to run the United States. Now, he does not have to be a born-again Christian to be a good person and have good ideas for the United States. If I had my way, I would say yes, have a born-again Christian in the highest places, because he is not out for himself. He knows who he has to answer to, which is God, the Almighty. So if you have more people with God-fearing ways in the political field, the better off me and you are going to be. I've heard that the way that the president today is handling the border crisis on the immigrants coming in 4 years, if that is allowed for 4 years, the immigrant population will outnumber the black population that we have today in the United States. Just in 4 years. If it continues. That is pretty mind-blowing. The black population has been here for hundreds of years, and they are going to be passed in population if the border keeps letting all the migrants right in. They are going to be passed. The migrant population is going to be higher than the black population. And I just read in the news a lady who had a business down in Texas. She worked for her dad at this, it's a barbecue rib place, restaurant. She worked for her dad, who owned this restaurant. For 19 years, she worked beside her dad. Now she took it over, and she's been working there. In 25 years that she's been there, that the restaurant has been there, they were broken into one time. Once in 25 years. Since February of this year, 2022, in February to now, she's been broken into 5 times and sometimes destroyed things in her restaurants, and she has to sell her restaurant and get out of business for fear of her life by migrants flooding in to where her business is. Now, it's you read that and you say, that is a shame, because of an open border and anybody coming in. Since February, her place has been ransacked and robbed 5 times. And she is unsafe. She fears for her life where she is at that restaurant. And she has to get out. She can't, mentally, she has to get out. So you look at people in Washington, D.C., they care less about that lady. That lady means nothing to them. Absolutely nothing. You ask them about that lady, and I'll bet you 99% of the people in Washington have no idea what she went through. So today we have to have a prayerful, get on your knees, listen, pray, and vote for the people that are not after power. They are after your benefit, to bless you, just how God, when God put them in a position to bless, that is what we need. So this half an hour went fast, and I hope that we can change things. We can. If we trust in Jesus and have him guide our hearts and minds in voting. So till next month, the 3rd Monday, God bless you. I love you. And I will pray for all of you everywhere. Thank you.